Well, good morning, everyone. It is Wednesday again, and we're back. We're back. So, I am feeling a whole lot better. Thank you very much. And I have a few things to share. So, one is just kind of funny. It's a comment. The person said that they put my video on twice the speed, and at twice the speed I talk as fast as they do. So they either talk really fast or I'm very zen. I don't know. I think I talk at a normal pace. I don't know. I thought it was funny. But I have a few makes, and I ordered more yarn. Well, I had to order yellow Parfait Chunky and some of the kiwi, I think it's kiwi, the light green. And while I was doing that, I got some more orange because my orange is yucky, and some chocolate. So that finally came in. Finally, I ordered that on the 17th and it just came yesterday. So I get to start on that next dozen of corn on the cob. But Sunday, I forget whose video I'm watching, and they used mystical on this and mystical on that, and I'm like, I'm jealous. I need some of those colors. So I checked Michael's to see what they had and if it was on sale, and it was. And I had a $5 voucher plus, what was it, 30% off. So I did a mystical yarn order, and I was shocked because Monday I got the shipping notification and Tuesday it was here. So I only messed up on one color. They had 2 shades of green available, and I had a shade of green, but I didn't have my label, so I wasn't sure which one it was, and it's hard to tell looking at the pictures online. I'm like, is there really a difference? Well, I ended up ordering the same one I already had. So I have one more of the fresh green. I did have some of the black, but I'm almost out, the cinder. So I ordered one more cinder. And then I've been using quite a bit of that pink quartz, and I like it, and it's so soft, so I ordered another pink quartz. The other 4 colors are new to me colors, and I've already got into one. I got Gray Cloud, and I don't know, it looks like pink and gray, maybe tan and gray. I'm not really sure, but it's kind of a cool color, so I'm excited to try that on something. And I got Berry. The other ones, I have Canyon and the reddish color one. So this is quite different, but it is a very pretty color. And then I got a blue, and this one is called Storm Blue, but it doesn't seem as bright as the ones that I've seen. So they must have another blue, just Michael's doesn't have it. So I got one of those. And I just ordered onesies because I don't have space to store it. And then the one that I got into was the yellow. And it is called, what are we called? Sunshine. So it is so pretty worked up. Wait till you see what I made. So I got those. And now I just need to find a home for them all, or use them all up really quick. So we did that. Uh-oh, that one hit the floor. I got all my other items that I showed you last time, you know, the little squirrels and everything. Got them all priced and tagged and put into square. I did that first on Sunday. After I finished my video, I took care of that so that my desk was clear and it can end up in the market bag. And then I did a few other things. So we did have a little bit of sad news around here. I hesitate to even mention it because I don't want to bum anybody out. But if I still don't quite seem like I'm back to normal, there is a reason. Our fur baby of 16 years, he passed away Sunday night. I found him Monday morning. He looked very peaceful. He was very old, and he lived a long, happy life. So that was a little sad. Monday was not a good day. But what did we do for crochet? Well, the first thing that I did was I finished that project that I was working on that I still had all the parts to sew on. And it's very cute. The pattern was released yesterday. And it is, I forgot to bring my notes. Just when you think you're prepared, you never are. The pattern released yesterday, and it's for a unicorn. And it's a pattern by Snugglebean Crochet. And normally, her patterns, the end result is very big. So I chose to use Parfait Chunky. And I used the new purple color Haze. And I used navy. And I have no idea what shade of pink this is. And then the darker purple, which I think is Iris. So I chose Parfait Chunky, and I used a 4.5 millimeter hook, but I also chose the small option in the pattern. Like, there's 3 different size heads. I went with small. There's 2 different size bodies. I went with small. I kind of wish I would have went with the bigger one now. It's really cute, but I am not happy with the eyes. And I say that because the disc that I used, it's like one of those like holographic foil discs. And unless the light is hitting it just right, it looks like 2 black blobs on this plushie. When the light hits it, it's gorgeous. So I'm not happy about that. I won't be using those discs anymore. So let me show you. I chose not to put the wings on this because you can do wings, make it like a Pegasus. You can make it like a unicorn. You can make it like a horse. And when I looked at the pictures of hers, I'm like, that so reminds me of My Little Pony. So I was looking at pictures of My Little Pony and looking at my colors. And now I'm not going to be able to think of her name. Oh my goodness. Anyways, the color scheme is based off of this My Little Pony. So here she is. See how dark those eyes look? But there is color in there. You just can't see it. Now you can because the light's hitting it just right. But like this, it looks like 2 black blobs, and it makes it look ginormous. But anyways, the My Little Ponies don't have a hoof color, but I had to do a color. You make all the legs, and then you make a little centerpiece to attach them. This is the part where you use the back post single crochet, and it made the bottoms of the feet so much flatter and sturdier. I was like, ooh, I'm impressed. I'll never do back loop only again for the bottom part of a foot. I will change it to a back post single crochet. That was so much nicer. I mean, it's so much sturdier. There's like 3 options for the horn. I think it's 3. There's like, maybe it's 4. Anyways, it has to do with the length of the horn. I chose the small head. I wish I would have went with a little bigger head. Just because. There are several different options for the mane and the tail. Now, this particular My Little Pony that I was trying to be similar with, their mane, it's like they have little bangs and it looks like it's a little bob haircut. So I was trying to replicate that. I think I did okay. And then the tail. So, of course, the option I chose took the most amount of work. It made it for a lot of sewing. Without this main option, it's minimal sewing. It's like sew the head onto the body, sew the ears on, and sew the horn on. Because some of the other main options are so much less time consuming. But other than the awful eyes, this thing turned out so adorable. I really like the pattern. I would do it again, but I would, like I said, I would choose the larger option. And I would not use those foiled discs for the eyes at all. But I think it turned out cute. So, I mean, it's definitely a little pony because I chose the small option. And then I sized down my hook. Because like I said, her patterns are, the end result is usually huge. And I was trying to keep it reasonable. And it ended up just a tad bit smaller than I thought. But it's a great pattern. Shannon always does a fantastic job with her patterns. I love them. Actually, the last one that I did, which was that gorgeous dragon, was probably the best written pattern that she's done. Just the formatting and everything was fantastic. Just absolutely fantastic. So then she has another pattern coming out. And I'm not sure of the date of this one. But it was like, boom, boom, back to back. And I'm like, girl, how do you do this? I can't even come up with enough ideas to do. So this one contains 2 patterns. And I did one. I do plan on doing the other one, but I had some other things that I had to do first. And it's so cute. It's a baby dragon. Go figure, another dragon. But it's a baby Night Fury and a baby Light Fury. And of course, I chose the harder of the 2 to do. I chose the Night Fury. And this thing is practically no-sew. Like, all of these horns get crocheted in. I was shocked. The arms and the legs get crocheted in. The tail is crocheted in. For sewing, you sew the head to the body, you sew the wings to the body, and you sew the tail decoration to the body. The rest of it is no sew. It's like, wow. Usually her patterns, you have a lot of sewing. This was fantastic. Now, I did not have bright green eyes. So I got to decorate my own eyes for this. And the glitter paint was taking too long, so you can see fluff flying through the air. The glitter paint was taking too long, so I ended up making a second pair. And using the resin and the glitter, I made such a mess. I actually messed up one of these eyes. I don't know if you can see it. I hope you cannot see it. It kind of ran down the side and then got up underneath, and it's like, oh, now I can't get this off. So, but I mean, the green just turned out fantastic. And what I ended up doing is I had two kinds of things that was green. I had a really fine glitter, and then there were these, like, I think it's a shell flake. They look green, but then when they get wet, they tend to change color. So there's a little bit, like if you look right in here, you can see some of those flecks, but it gives it character. And then I thought, they're still a little dark. So I used my white nail polish and put on the back of it. And then that made that green just pop right out of there. So I already have the eyes made for the Light Fury. And there's not as many of these pieces. There's 4 instead of 8. So it should go much faster. Not that this took a long time. It was just, there's a lot of little parts, like 3 single crochets in a magic circle. These 2 are optional, but I mean, you gotta have it. And the little nails, these little nail part, that is optional. And at first I had left mine off, and then Heather from Cottontail Crafts by Heather, she harassed me until I put them on. So I put them on. And I decided to do the little nails and the wings in just the regular black and not the glitz, so that it would stand out. And also because I didn't have a sparkly red, so I kind of wanted it all to blend together, if that makes any sense. But these are really cute, and it's a nice medium size plushie. I'm sure if you used like Bernat or something like that, it would come out a really good size. He's so sparkly. You can see all that glitz just sparkling. But I think he turned out good. And it is another well-written pattern. I am not sure of the release date on this one, but it was a fun make. And I do want to make the Light Fury. So I did those, and then we were talking about the stingray from the Instagram pattern, and I said I thought that if it was done in parfait or something, that it would be small enough for a keychain. And a couple of you guys replied that you use Posh or parfait or whatever, and they come out the perfect size for a keychain. Well, I tried, and I would say that it is a good size for a keychain. Now, the little, these flappy parts, fins, arms, wings, whatever they're called, to make it not so crinkly, like you do 2 half doubles, 3 doubles, 3 doubles, 2 half doubles to get this rounded shape. On one of them, I did 2 doubles instead of 3. So it would be like 2 half doubles, 2 doubles, 3 doubles, 2 half doubles, and then just reversed it on the other side to try and make it look even. And it is a whole lot less floppy. But I forgot to put his eyes in. So look what I did. He's got little googly eyes. And I kind of like that on there. I mean, it really stands out with the black. So I had to glue on some googly eyes, and I think I'll make a couple more of these so that I have more than one. You know, do some different colors besides black. And they're so fast. And they really do come out the perfect size when you use parfait and smaller. And I think I used a 4.5 millimeter hook on this. So I did that, and that is a free pattern on Instagram. I do not remember the designer's name off the top of my head. I have been having a hard time finding a cute bunny pattern. And by now, I have a few bunny patterns. And I'm not really happy with any of them. There is one that I like better than the rest, and I'll probably break that out and do a bunny in that. But, you know, I wanted to be different, wanted something new. So, Kira, I think is how you say her name, from Crochet Customs, has a cute little quick and easy, what she calls a chubby bunny. And so, support my fellow content creator, crocheter, designer. I bought her little pattern. Very inexpensive. I think I paid $1.49 for it. So I tried to make one. And the first one that I made was out of the chenille Brights in Coral. And this is the little bunny. So I did a couple of things different. Like she uses a safety nose. I didn't have safety noses small enough. And she also makes her own pom-pom for the tail. And I opted not to do that. So I surface crocheted a bobble with a triple crochet bobble stitch for the tail. I did it after the fact. Because, you know, I didn't read ahead and see that I had to make a pom-pom. But so we made this, and he's kind of cute. I'm not sure about putting the X for the mouth and nose, but very easy. It kind of reminds me of a mini bird with a cottontail and rabbit ears. So then I decided to make another one. And, you know, I don't know what I'm going to do with this yarn because so far I'm not real thrilled with the projects that I've chosen to use it with. And it is a lot stiffer than the first time that I used it, so it just makes it harder. And this time, because I knew that I was going to be doing a bobble stitch for the tail, I just crocheted in the round, and it ended up being the last stitch of the same round as the legs is where I attached that bobble for the cottontail. Now, it would probably be a good idea, change colors, make it white so that it, you know, stands out more. But he's not my favorite. So I made those two, not the pattern, the yarn. It's not my favorite. I made these two, and then I sat it aside, and I was like, you know what? I know I have 8, 10, whatever chicks in the eggs, but I need to make some more. So I grabbed different shades of yellow, and I made some chicks, and then go to the eggs. And I know I've said I don't like doing that, but I didn't have like 14 of them lined up. I made 5 chicks. So I needed to do 5 eggs. So I did 1 chicken mustard with white fuzzy hair. And I used, this is Home Slim in mustard. And then I used my Bernat tie-dye-ish for the egg. And I made another one with the tie-dye-ish for an egg, but with, this is a Bernat yellow. I'm not sure the shade because it was a scrap ball. I had just enough to make one. I have a little bit of it left, but it won't make another one. So we did that one in yellow. And I just kind of stuck with the white fur for the fluffiness. And so that night I did the 5 chicks and the 2 eggs. And I was like, okay, I'm tired. I'm done. I don't want to make any more. So when I got up the next morning, I still had 3 eggs to finish. So I did 1 in almond in Bernat with, I think this one is the sun-kissed yellow in Bernat. And we did a white one in Bernat Baby with the mustard from Home Slim. And then one other sun-kissed, but then I used the pink quartz tie-dye-ish for the egg. Just to have a little color. And that is a pattern by Cozy Hooked Creations. So I did those, and then I decided, let me go back to the little bunny pattern. So I was looking at, what colors do I have? Well, I had the pink quartz out. So I decided to do one in the pink quartz, and I forgot that I was doing the bobble stitch in the last round of the round that the legs are on. So I had to go back and do a surface crochet bobble using the triple crochet. So this one I added a little eyebrows to it. That's a pretty color. I like the pink quartz. And then I said, well, you know what? I have purple left from my purple project, so let's do a purple bunny. And I give this one little eyebrows too. So I might make a couple more of these. I don't want to go too crazy with the bunnies because they're kind of a hard sale. But they're very easy. And you can do them pretty inexpensive. I mean, you do have to sew the ears on, but that's nothing. I mean, that's real quick. So then when I'm looking at those, I'm thinking, you know, I bet you if I did that out of Parfait Chunky, it'd come out small enough to fit on a swing. So I tried. And it did. It's just perfect for a little swing. So now we have another car swing with a bunny on it. But, okay, size difference. Bernat, Parfait Chunky, 6mm, 4.5mm. But it's like perfect for a swing. So I have one more swing. We did those, and then I'm like, you know, I want to make something of substance because these little ones are fun. And they're quick, and you get a lot accomplished very fast. But every now and then, you want to make something of substance. And I was thinking, well, I still need to do a flamingo. And I still do need to make a flamingo, because I did not make a flamingo. But I need to. Because every time I make a flamingo, regardless of which of the two patterns that I have, that I use, they sell. But so does my duck. So I got out the duck. And, you know, I bought all these patterns, oh gosh, over a year ago. And I forgot how much I really enjoy this designer's patterns. They're just, she just makes the cutest little critters. We did this duck. And this is what I used my yellow mystical on. Usually I use a bright yellow, but I wanted to try the mystical. And I don't know, I think it looks really good on the duck. And this is a fairly quick pattern. So the only thing I had to sew onto this is the head onto the body. The wings get crocheted in, the legs get crocheted in. So it makes it a lot faster. And it's so darn cute. I love this pattern. It's actually a pattern for mallard, and I just do it all in yellow. I don't use, you know, follow the color changes. But the mallards come out really cute too. But last market, yellow was the color, so we went with yellow again. And this is by Amigurumi, Estonia is the shop name on Etsy that this pattern comes from. Well, while I was looking at that, I said, what other ones did I buy from this shop? Like, was probably a year and a half ago. And I'm looking through it, and I have quite a few, and I really, really do like her patterns. So I'm like, you know what? I haven't made the otter in a while. And actually, I've only ever made it one time before. And I did it out of Java with the Home Slim, and it was very dark. Very dark. So this time I decided to use brights in caramel and oatmeal. Unfortunately, my safety nose is the wrong style safety nose. So don't tell me it's not the right kind of nose. I already know. And this one, again, the only sewing was putting the ears on it and sewing the head to the body. Everything else is crocheted in. So here's the little otter with his little tail and some yarn stuck under his tail. He's collecting his little ears. Some pretty green eyes. And the wrong nose. I still think it looks like an otter. It should be more triangle shaped if you look at pictures of otters. But you know what? It's a toy. It's not realistic. And this is fairly easy. I mean, you have to make all the separate parts, but it gets crocheted in. And I don't think I had to adjust any of the placement, like move it forward or back or anything. I think it worked out for me. Usually I do have to. So I used a 6mm with the brights, like I said, in caramel, and this part is oatmeal. Don't ask me why I picked the green eyes. I just did. I think he looks pretty cute. I stuffed him pretty firm. So I like my little otter. He's adorable. So I did that, and then I was like, well, has she put out any new patterns lately? Well, she has, I think. Well, they're new to me anyways, because I haven't looked in a long time. So I spent some money on patterns. I've only made one, though. I did download them all. I bought 4 because if you buy 4, I think they were already on sale, but if you buy 4, you get 15% off. I don't know how it worked out, but somehow I got a deal. And one of them was a package that came with a bunny, a panda, a regular bear, and a cat, I think. Well, because it's spring and Easter is coming, I decided, let me try the bunny. And that was the main reason I bought it, because I wanted the bunny. And I want a good bunny. And I usually really enjoy her patterns. Now, this one, it wasn't bad, but my yarn was awful to work with. My hands are a little sore this morning. Probably because, what did I make yesterday? I did the 2 little bunnies, the duck, the otter, and this one. But the yarn was stiffer, so it wasn't as flexible. I really think I needed to use a bigger hook. Like go up to a 7mm or a 6.5. And it would have been a little easier to work with, maybe. But the concept of the patterns really, I think, is pretty good. It's just because the yarn wasn't flexible, I guess is a good word. Certain parts of it didn't, turn out all that great. And that's mainly the bobble stitches, because, I don't know, it could just be my imagination because I was battling the yarn and it was late at night and it wasn't doing what I wanted it to do. So we did a bunny, and you make the arms and the legs separate and the ears are separate. The only sewing is the ears. And I'm back a little bit too far. But that's all right. So you start from the bottom up. You don't even have to sew the head on this one. She made it easy. This is like not that flexible, but this is 2 bobble stitches next to each other. The muzzle is 4. And this is what I'm just not a fan of that color pink safety nose. I think I need softer yarn for one, and not that safety nose. And I used 14 millimeter eyes. I'm thinking I should have gone with 16. Now, if you use this, she says in the pattern, if you use the same yarn as her and hook size, it should be 11 centimeters. I don't know what 11 centimeters comes out to in inches, and I do not have, oh yes, I do have, right here. So, without the ears, mine is almost 6 inches tall. Without the ears. With the ears, it makes it just over 8, like 8 and an eighth. So 11 centimeters. Yeah, it'd be, flip that over. 11 centimeters is about 4 1/4 inches. So mine is definitely bigger. But I think that yarn was just a little stiff, and it's blush pink Bernat. It just wasn't flexible like the rest of them. So again, change color for the tail, or even use a fur yarn for the tail. And then you could, I mean, she suggests like changing the color for the muzzle as well as the tail so that they stand out better. And then, of course, make sure you sew your ears on in the center of the head and not too far back like I did. But I think it would be a cute pattern. And like I said, it comes with, you got the bunny, the cat, a panda, and a regular bear. So, not as cute as this. But, again, yarn that wants to work with me instead of against me. And a better color than this blush pink. I don't know. I probably should have just used this, and I would have been much happier. It's so soft and easy to work with. But yeah, so this was the last thing I made last night. And then I was like, it is time for bed. We're going to bed. And that is my makes. So now I need to sticker these and put them into square. And then they could go in the market bag or not. They'll be ready to go whenever I decide to take them. Now the bunnies need to go because we only have so many markets before Easter. The duck needs to go because it always sells. And I'll face it, I'll probably take them all. So we need to do that. I need to charge my lights for Friday night. And at some point load the car, but just about everything's in it except for the plushies. But I got to take the wagon this time because we have to wheel the stuff in. So I have to remember the wagon. Otherwise, it'll be miserable to carry all that stuff by hand. Anywho, that is what I have. And we will see you Sunday. No live on Friday because I'll be at market. So we'll see you Sunday.